Hello everyone, welcome to Tutorials in Hand. In this video tutorial we are going to see how to write a program in Python to find index of an element in a given list. So basically we will have a list and we will ask the user to enter element and we have to return what exactly is the index of that element in the given list. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. So let's say if we have this my list and this is a list of numbers, and now first of all, what is the basic thing that we have to do? So first of all, we will have to ask the user to enter us with the element whose index he or she needs to find, right? So let's ask the user to enter that element, and in order to have that, let's have a variable onto which we will store it. So let's say the element is simply element, okay, the variable name basically, and let's ask the user to enter us with the element. And we are aware that in Python we can take input from the user with help of input function. So let's give input and we'll ask the user to enter the element, right? Now one thing that you should notice that this function will return us with a string, so we have to cast it to integer type, right? Because all the elements are of integer type, so we'll have to cast it to integer type. So in order to do that, we can do it with help of int, and then within the parenthesis we will provide us with this function. So basically what will happen, that whatever the number the user will enter, that will be by default of string type because of this input function. So we have explicitly casted it to integer type with help of this, and finally the element got converted to integer type and is being stored in element, right? Now let's see how exactly we can find what is the index, which was basically the agenda of the video. So in Python we have something called index method. So with help of index method we can directly extract the index of any element present in that list. So what we have to do is we'll have to simply write the list name this dot index, and within the parenthesis we will provide whose index we need to find. So over in this situation we need to find the index of element, right? Now let's store it somewhere. So let's store it in a variable, let's say index itself. Okay, now let's print it. Okay, for better, let's give a proper comment that the index of this is this. Okay, so let's use format method in order to decorate the output further. So what is the first thing that we have to replace with this? So the index of what? Index of element, right? So we'll give element comma. What is the second thing that we need to replace with? So with index we need to replace, right? Now let's print it and see it working. And here you can see that it's asking me to enter the element. Let the element be simply let's say 91, okay, because it's present in this. And boom, here you can see that the index of 91 is 6. Let's count it. So it's 0 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So it's correct, right? Okay, now let's see one strange thing. Now let's say if we enter a number or an element which is not present in the list. Let's give 12, it's not present, and let's hit enter. And here you can see that it's throwing an exception. So how to deal with it? Because if this thing continues, then what will happen? Our execution of the entire program will get disrupted. Now let's see how to deal with it. So in order to deal with it, we have something called exception handling, and that we can do it with help of try except. So what we do or how we perform that is we will put inside try whatever code onto which we are suspicious that it might throw an exception. So in this program we are aware that index might throw an exception, so let's keep it inside try. Okay, and let's do the same for this part. Now let's write except. So within the except we write the code which needs to be run only when the try part throws an exception. So what is the thing that we have to do if this part throws an exception, and when will it throw an exception? First of all, so this is going to throw an exception only when the element is not present in the list, right? So let's give that particular comment. So let's write the element, and it's better to format the things, is not present in the list. Okay, let's use format method, and what we have to replace it with, we have to replace it with element. So let's quickly run it and see it working as well. See, it's asking me to enter the element we have seen for the positive test case. Now let's run for negative one. Let the element be 100, which is obviously not present in this list. And boom, here you can see that where earlier it thrown an exception, but in this situation it's rather throwing us with a proper comment that yeah, element 100 is not present in this list. So this is how we can deal with these situations or deal with exceptions as well. And this is how we can find what's the exact index of an element present in a list. I hope you understood the things very clearly, but still if you have any doubt, then feel free to drop it down in the comment section. So this was all about the video. Thank you.